Hey hey, welcome to the basement, the Perfect Sip channel here with Andy Bell. I'm not here with Smiley Pete today, he's outside. I'm here with the amazing Alice Parsons, the author of the very new whiskey book, The Lore of Whisky. Welcome to the basement, how are you doing?
I'm very well, Andy, thank you for having me.
Hey hey, well we're so glad to have you up in Glasgow and you've got a few events happening we'll talk about later, but there's a few questions I'd love to ask you and a bit more about the book. But
Indeed.
First of all, let's have a wee whiskey since you're here.
Oh, that'll loosen me up.
For those of you who know me, this is the Bruichladdich 20-year-old. Wouldn't be anything else.
Thank you.
Welcome to Glasgow.
Great way of starting the weekend, thank you.
Hey,
Oh,
slang.
cheers, Slange, thank you very much.
No problem at all. So I suppose a good question actually just to jump onto that one is what is actually your favourite whiskey?
Very difficult to answer. I mean, really, I've never drunk a whiskey that I haven't enjoyed for one reason or another, but I think, and as I was writing the book, I had a chance to explore a lot of different expressions, and at one point, the pinnacle whiskey for me had been Glenmorangie.
Hey, hey.
So I've been advocating their whiskey ever since, and I have to say they've been supporting me too. So very, very kind, and it's a great whiskey.
Beautiful, beautiful whiskey. I said when we were flicking through your book, having a wee read of it, which is out now at all good bookshops, sort of noticed a lot of sort of talking about other parts of the whiskey world, especially Australia and New Zealand. Is that something you're kind of more passionate about as well?
I think I've developed a passion for the entire story. I mean, really, because it is global. So many countries today are involved, so we're no longer is it just the premise of Scotland. I've been living in Australia for 30 years and was able to do a lot of my research there. And I made friends with Bill Lark, who in Australia is called the godfather of whiskey. And he's a delightful gentleman. He resides in Hobart. And he really kick-started a fantastic booming whiskey industry in Tasmania about 20 years ago. And he's been a huge support to me. And it was really at his distillery that I did a lot of my research.
Research at the distillery?
yeah, absolutely. Well, I was able there to learn what I call the nitty-gritty of everything, which of course is fundamental for anyone trying to understand how it, where it comes from, how it's made, how long it takes. And that to me was one of the most interesting parts of it all.
Okay. Now one of the big questions we always ask many people who come into Inverarity 1-to-1, what is your fourth favourite song?
Oh, thank you. Fourth favourite, that's cruel. Oh, golly, Andy, fourth favourite song. Well, you've got me scuppered there. There's a song, okay, I'll share. It's probably my first favourite, but we'll push it down to fourth for this morning. I love Plácido Domingo singing with John Denver. It's a song my husband played for me when we first met.
Hey.
And there you are, a bit of romance on Saturday to my husband.
Who's just across the road having a coffee, if anybody is across the road having a coffee.
It's called Perhaps Love, by the way, and it's a stunning song.
So again, I've had a nice wee flick through it. Is there any sort of facts that you discovered that you thought were the most of the more interesting part? If someone's to take away one part of the book, what do you think was the coolest bit for you?
I think the odd little bits that I discovered, like sugar density measured in degrees Pluto, for example. I don't know if you've ever heard about that, if you've got to that degree. And it was just the whole journey of gathering lots of funny little pieces like that and putting them together. I think it all fascinated me. The devotion people have to the subject, and I think the greatest fact that I've come away with, it's not a specific scientific fact, but it's that people in the fellowship of whiskey are just the most amazing bunch of people. You can talk to anyone, and even if they don't drink it, they'll tell you something about it, or what their grandfather used to say about it, or their father, or their kids, whatever. Everyone has something to tell you, and they want to tell you, they want to be a part of it. And so, in terms of that, it's more an emotional response. It's the fact that there is this huge, great club out there that we all seem to enjoy, and it brings about friendships. It's brought me dozens of friendships, and it's changed the course of my life. By accident.
All the way here to the basement.
Exactly.
So one more question just before you go. If Doctor Who was to drink a whiskey, because tonight Doctor Who returns on BBC One, what whiskey would Doctor Who drink?
I think he'd drink something very, very malty, very strong. I think he might go for a Lefroy.
Whoa, down to Isla, down to one of my favourites. Now, if you're lucky enough to be in Glasgow, today Alice is going to be in the Good Spirits Company from 11:30 to about 3:30, where you can pop in, say hello, maybe try something, grab a book, get it signed, meet the author, and also tomorrow I believe you'll be in the Pot Still, one of Glasgow's premier whisky bars from, is it 4 o'clock onwards?
That's right.
4 o'clock onwards, so pop in and buy the lady a drink and get the book signed. So I'd just like to say thank you for coming in to see us, and I hope you have great success with the book. The Lore of Whisky is... The Lore. There's the wine bit coming back in. The Lore of Whisky is out now.
My champion. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.